So I thought I'd do this really quick screencast, particularly around balancing challenge and support, or the loving boot as Blakey calls it. So what we'd like you to do is to reflect on where you naturally sit within this matrix. So and where you might be able to further challenge or further support, or both, for your learners. So if somebody is receiving very little support and very little challenge, then they tend to be bored and there's very little impact on their learning as a result. If there's really high levels of support but not very much challenge, that's the comfortable cat quarter of this matrix, and that's where it feels really cozy, it feels nice, everybody's happy. However, it does build dependency and can really lead to unpredictable results in terms of performance. If, on the other hand, if there's high levels of stress and not very much support, then this can lead to burnout. It focuses on really short-term results, can really affect self-confidence, and alienates the learner. So the empowered quadrant of this matrix is where you can get really high results, high self-esteem and high productivity. So think about where you naturally are. I know that naturally I'm more on the challenge end of this matrix, and so over the years I've learned to provide more support mechanisms to balance that for my learners. But also have a think about where your students are, because this is a partnership between you and your students, your learners. And so to bring that balance and go into that empowered quadrant, it's about where you are and where your learners are. So for example, if you've got a learner who is very high in self-challenge, then you might need to counteract that with a little bit more support, compared to a learner that doesn't challenge themselves so much, in which case you might need to inject a little bit more of that loving boot. Okay, so what challenges do you think that this brings for you? How can you get your students to a place where they're able to seek and manage their own balance of challenge and support, who can find and utilise what they need during their learning journey?